afternoon. I'm Raleigh Brown, just with a little shorter hair than I used to have. You might still recognize me. I just look a little older and more haggard, perhaps. And I'm here to sing you some songs and play you a little bit of guitar. I have my big Pru OMD with me today. You know, when I want a real nice big bass rich sound, I've kind of been using the Martin, but it was pointed out to me, and I'm aware of it too, that the Martin has a buzz right now because the action is a little too low for flat picking. It's nice for finger picking. And I think that once the weather warms up and the humidity comes back into the air, it'll come up enough that I can flat pick it. But I've gone to my equally good and actually much louder Pru guitar for today. One of my 3 Pru guitars. And hello to you all. I see there's lots of you here. Pam Zappardino is the first one who showed up on my feed here. And Marcia Lowe and Warren and Janelle and Alan Kane and Donna Greenberg, Keith Shaw, Deborah Libby Clark, William Sawyer, Steve Edelman, who is vaccinated up the yin-yang, I guess, Pam Zappardino again, John Kaysen, Lauren Payne, S.A. Tudhope, Jim Greco. Hey, Greco, how you doing, man? Carol Pred, Dwight Shoemate is right next door. Anyhow, it's been an eventful couple days. I had my hair cut, as you can see, and then this morning I had my optical exam, my optometrist, and 8 years have gone by, and I can barely see. But the good news is no glaucoma, virtually no cataract stuff, not enough to worry about yet. And I just need new glasses for, $600 or whatever. And that was good news, and I'll be looking forward to being able to maybe read printed words again without trouble. And I had my buddy Jay Ansel came over for lunch today. I was able to have him in the house because of the new CDC regulations. And we had a lovely lunch without masks. And it's been a great day so far, actually. Got to listen to Guy Davis on the way back from my optometry appointment in the car. But I should get going here. Let me sing you something. I have 3 big, wonderful songs today. It was on an Indiana farm in the middle of the country, growing in the fields of grain, Jim Dean of Indiana. His mama died when he was a boy. His father was a stranger. Marcus Winslow took him in. Nobody seemed to want him. The hired man sang like a storm. Sometimes he would beat him. He would never do the chores. He was lost in dreaming. He never seemed to find a place with the flatlands and the farmers. And so he had to go one day. He said to be an actor. Once he'd come back from the movie town with starlets from the stages. They lock themselves inside his room. The people turn their faces. Then a neighbor ran from the movie house. The chickens, they were scattered. He swore he saw upon the screen Jim Dean of Indiana. He played a boy without a home, torn with no tomorrow, reaching out to touch someone, a stranger in the shadows. The Winslows left for the movie town. They drove across the country. They hoped that he would stay around, and they hoped he would be friendly. He talked to them for half an hour, but he was busy racing. Then he left for the Grapevine Road. They left for Indiana. Then Marcus heard on the radio that a movie star was dying. He turned the tuner way down low so Hortense could go on sleeping. It was not until they reached the farm where the hired hand was waiting. The wind was silent through the grain. It was just as they had told him. They buried him just down the road, a mile from the farmhouse, and that is where I placed a flower for Jim Dean of Indiana. Jim Dean of Indiana by Phil Oakes. And as I've said before when I've sung that song, one time Jan and I were traveling through Indiana, and we saw signs for Fairmount, Indiana, and we got off and spent an afternoon looking at the James Dean Museum and driving by and looking at his house that he grew up in, and went to his graveside, which was covered with lipstick smudges and all manner of guitar picks and such that people left there. It's very touching. And of course I after that I read up a lot on James Dean, and went back and watched some of the films. But it's Phil Oakes who I'm really touched by for writing it, and because he meant more to me in a lot of ways than James Dean did. So this next one up is by a guy named Don Lang, who I know virtually nothing about except he's from the Midwest. I think other people may know him here. Let's see who else is on here now. I said hello to a bunch of you. Debbie Lipster Visayo and Steve Goge and S.A. Tudhope and Ray Naylor and Donna Greenberg. Hi, Ray. And Alex Bevan, my buddy, saying hello to Suki and Raleigh. Suki is right here. You get the rear view today, so she is here with us. And Mike Verbeck and Kathy Marsick and Keith Shaw and Andreas Postler and Kate Petrella. Did I say Bud Manning and John Sauer and Linda Mintz and all that kind of stuff? Nancy Daynard. I was talking with Magpie last night. Nancy, your name came up. Seems that our buddy Reggie Harris, who's Magpie's neighbor, broke his wrist, and Terry had to take him to the emergency room and then over to Matt and Nancy's house for a brief stop. So I never knew my granddad. He was always on the bum. Every September, he'd grab him a southbound and ride. Then along about Christmas, me and my brother would get a few coins in the mail. Couldn't spend them, they're all he could send from the Mexico City jail. Back in the 30s when the going got tough, old granddad he took to the rails. My mama was young then, she only remembered his name. Then a granny got work in the old canning factory. She took in some wash on the side. She promised herself that she'd never forgive him, a promise she kept till she died. So here's to you rounders, and here's to you railroad bums. Hope that you make it home soon. And here's to the women who married for love and lived with the man in the moon. One time near the end, he rolled into town. He was riding that Greyhound line. I guess he got older, them boxcars got harder to climb. Well, he dropped his last dime on a call to my granny. No was her only reply. She hung up the phone, cussed him in German, but I saw the pain in her eyes. So here's to you rounders, and here's to you railroad bums. Hope that you make it home soon. here's to the women who married for love and lived with the man in the moon. I never knew my granddad. He was always on the bum. The Salvation Army sent us a note when he died. Now me and my brother, we carry the memory of a face that we never have seen. Like some foreign coin grown cold in the pocket of a young boy's dirty blue jeans. So here's to you rounders, and here's to you railroad bums. Hope that you make it home soon. And here's to the women who married for love and lived with the man. Here's to You Rounders by Don Lang. And there's a couple things about that tune. I've been getting, some of you have said you enjoy hearing my little tidbits about how I arrange these things. And there's a couple things in this tune. One of them is the use of what we call the 3 chord. So in the key of C, E minor is the 3 chord, and it can substitute for the 1 chord, which is C. So if you want there to be a little more emotional content, and I learned this originally from listening to Phil Oakes, who used this to great effect in a lot of his tunes. So here's to you rounders. I think the original might have just gone to C. Here's to you railroad bums, or here's to you railroad bums, C and A minor. You throw an E minor in there. Here's to you rounders, and here's to you railroad bums. Hear how that kind of lends a sense of poignancy to it. It's very nice. And there's a thing, I added a couple things to this song, and I don't even remember what all of them were because it was so long ago that I learned it. I first learned it, I think, from Priscilla Herdman, who, Jay, who was here for lunch today, he and I used to play behind her sometimes. And she knew a bunch of great songs, and she still does. She's up there in New York State somewhere. I added this long walk-up. He was always on the bus. And I just added it because it felt good. But it's worth mentioning that when you have upward motion like that, it kind of lifts things up in a way. And downward motion is a little more neutral or kind of calms things down. So that's why I put that in there. Or it's not why I put that in there, but it's one of the side effects. And in this next tune I'm going to play you, which is an instrumental, you can listen for a place where there's upward movement that moves the tune along. There'll be a quiz at the end of class today. This is a song by Steve Swallow, an instrumental called Falling Grace. that's Falling Grace, a little known tune, a modern tune, but really a wonderful chord progression, really sweet. And I'm sure you heard some of that upward movement there. And Donna Dixon is listening on her walk. Donna, much love to you and your lovely husband, Mr. Steve Kaufman. And Debbie Moore is here, and I've named a bunch of the rest of yous. Keith Shaw, Charlotte Cantrell. Charlotte Cantrell, I found, I wonder if, no, it's not in sight right now. I found Janet Smith's book. I might send it to you, although I don't know if I want to part with it. And Beelzebubba Bryant is here. And he is but one tiny data point, but so far he's got no side effects from the J&J. Good. And like that. So announcements. There is a PayPal link should you want to leave a little something for me and Suki the dog, who is now turned kind of sideways. You could actually see Suki's little face if we do this again. There she is. Want to look at the camera, sweetie pie? There she is. She's been doing training the last couple days. That was good. We're working on her. I'm starting to do practical stuff. In other words, we're working on training her not to eat poop off the ground. That might be a little longer project than the go to mat command, but we'll see. So tonight, Frank Fotusky, that's spelled Fotusky, does his blues stream. Frank's a fine guitar player, lives up in Portland, Maine. And Claudia Schmidt, who is a wonder to behold, does her thing on Wednesday nights. Tomorrow morning, Kokomo will be back at 10, and I will be on again at 3. And then on Friday, Kokomo will be on at 10, and Alex will be on at 3:30 because of that's our normal schedule. Today is part of the change, but normally I'm on Thursday, Alex is on Friday. I'm back on Saturday. And I think that's about all I got that I was going to mention. Oh, you know what's going to happen on Sunday? My friend Beth Mead is supposed to come over, and she's a great swing rhythm guitarist. And until the pandemic, we would get together every once in a while and play tunes. So she's going to come over because we're both vaccinated now, and the CDC says it's okay for us to be together. And we're going to play some tunes. And I might, maybe about 2:30 or so on Sunday, I might just go live and we'll play a couple tunes for you. And one of the things I never get to do here, because I'm not a master of the looper like my friend Alex is that I don't really get to just cut loose and be a lead guitarist over some jazz tunes. I always have to hold down the bass and the rhythm as well as the melody. And so with Beth here, I might be able to have some fun, play you some jazzy stuff. We'll see. I'll announce it, I think, if it's going to happen. Okay, so I did Jim Dean, I did Rounders, I did Falling Grace, and I'm going to do my friend Susie Burke's wonderful song. We're going to put the capo up here. There is some stuff coming up on April 4th. It hasn't been publicized yet, but I think I'm going to be part of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. And on April 10th, I think, I'm doing a concert for FolkNet, which is a big organization, I think they're based out of Ohio. And I'll be doing a full concert for them, and that should be fun. And I'm not involved in these two things, but look into them. One of them is WUMB's Winter Weekend, which I think is this coming weekend. I'm not sure if they have space yet. It's virtual, of course. And Cozy has informed me that Colorado Roots will be doing another, like the thing I did a couple months ago, an online camp. But it'll be for the August teachers. I was one of the June teachers, so I did that one, but there'll be a bunch of great teachers doing the August one too. So look into that, Colorado Roots Music Camp. and Summer Acoustic Music Week, my two favorite camps. And in fact, that's probably where I really met Susie Burke. I met her husband and the wonderful mandolin and guitar player David Surratt. David, I met both at Colorado Roots and at Sam W. But Susie, I think I just met at Sam W. They're wonderful people who play great music, like this. I am walking down this highway, and I don't care where I'm bound. There's a voice inside me, it keeps on singing. Just keep moving, boy, don't turn around. The heat is rising off the pavement. The sweat is rolling down my spine. But I'm willing to keep moving, 'cause I'm trusting I'm gonna find higher ground. Higher ground, gonna lift me up, nothing's gonna hold me down. I hear the singing, I hear the sound, love is calling me to higher ground. Now my soul's been etched in heartache, just like everyone I know, and I carry all of it with me, and sometimes I know it shows. Some days it is my armor, some days it is my crown, but believe me, soon I will be free. Crown or armor, I'm gonna lay it down on higher ground, higher ground. Gonna lift me up, nothing's gonna hold me down. I hear the singing, I hear the sound, love is calling me to higher ground. Now maybe you've got a heartache, maybe you hurt like me, maybe you feel that tether and you're straining to be free. Take my hand and walk beside me. Don't look back and don't look down. Raise your eyes up, see what we found. No use wondering, no sense in asking why we're tested in our time. It's all just a mystery that soon becomes our history. You got yours and I've got mine. When I find my piece of that holy heaven, I'm gonna fly it like a banner straight out from my heart. Then I'm gonna tear it so I can share it. Come along now and take your part on higher ground, higher ground. Gonna lift me up, nothing's gonna hold me down. I hear the singing, I hear the sound, love is calling me on high. that's just a brilliant, beautiful piece of work. There's vulnerability in there and fortitude. Great song. Wonderful song. Susie Burke. So thank you so much for joining me. I've been running over a half hour here. I got to be careful of that. I used to aim for 20 minutes. I gave up on that a while ago. So I love you all. Thank you for listening today and watching. And I will go to my other camera so I can say goodbye to you. So try to stay healthy. Try to stay happy. Be brave. Keep your cool. Be calm. If you get cranky, take a nap. And I'll see you tomorrow at 3.